If you feel lost right now, God is speaking to you. In the quiet corners of your heart, where doubt whispers and shadows lengthen, do you feel a sense of being adrift? Does the path ahead seem veiled in mist, leaving you uncertain of which way to turn? If you feel lost right now, know this with every fiber of your being: God is speaking to you. This feeling is not a punishment, nor is it a sign of His absence. On the contrary, it is a divine invitation. It is in the wilderness of our own confusion that God often chooses to speak most clearly, not in a booming voice from the heavens, but in the gentle, persistent whisper that calls us closer to Him. This is not a moment to be feared, but a sacred space to be entered with reverence and an open heart. Think of the great figures of faith throughout history. Moses was a fugitive in the desert, tending sheep, his past life in Egypt a distant memory, when God spoke to him from a burning bush. David was a shepherd boy, seemingly insignificant when he was anointed king. The prophet Elijah was alone, exhausted, and fleeing for his life in the wilderness when he heard God, not in the wind, the earthquake, or the fire, but in a still, small voice. Their moments of greatest uncertainty were the very moments that preceded their greatest calling and their most profound encounters with the divine. Your feeling of being lost is not the end of your story. It is the sacred ground upon which a new chapter, written by the hand of God, is about to begin. He is intentionally quieting the noise of the world so that you can finally hear His voice. When you feel lost, it's a sign that the old maps you've been using are no longer valid for the territory God is calling you into. You have been relying on your own understanding, your own strength, and your own plans. But now, God is lovingly showing you their limits. He is teaching you the beautiful, humbling lesson of dependence. He wants you to let go of the tattered map you've been clutching so tightly and to take His hand instead. He is the master cartographer of your life, and the path He has for you is infinitely more glorious than any you could chart for yourself. This feeling of disorientation is a grace, a gift that forces you to lift your eyes from your own feet and look up to the One who holds the stars in place and calls them each by name. He knows your name, He knows your heart, and He knows the way through this wilderness. In this season of feeling lost, God is speaking a message of trust. He is asking, will you trust me, even when you cannot see the path? Will you believe that I am good, even when your circumstances feel anything but? Will you hold on to my promises, even when they seem impossible? Every step you take in faith, no matter how small or hesitant, is a resounding yes to these questions. It is an act of worship that pleases the heart of your Father. He is not asking you to have all the answers. He is simply asking you to trust the One who is the answer. Your confusion is an opportunity to cultivate a faith that is not dependent on sight, but is rooted in the unshakable character of God Himself. This feeling of being lost is also a refining fire. God is using this time to burn away the impurities in your life, the pride, the self-reliance, the idols you have unknowingly placed before Him. It can feel painful, like you are being stripped bare, and in a way, you are. You are being stripped of everything that is not of Him, so that what remains is pure, holy, and wholly His. He is making room in your heart for more of His presence, more of His love, more of His power. He is preparing you for the greater purpose He has for your life, a purpose that requires a vessel that is empty of self and full of the Spirit. Do not resist this process. Lean into the discomfort, for it is in the heat of the fire that you are being molded into the image of Christ. God is speaking a message of intimacy. When you are lost, you tend to cry out for a guide. God wants to be more than just a guide. He wants to be your constant companion. He is drawing you away from the crowds and into a place of solitude with Him. He yearns for a relationship with you that is not based on public performance or religious duty, but on quiet communion and heartfelt conversation. He wants to know your fears, your hopes, your deepest aches. He wants to share His heart with you. This time of feeling lost is His invitation to go deeper with Him than ever before. It is a chance to build a history with God, to learn the sound of His voice, to feel the comfort of His presence, and to discover that in Him, you are never truly alone. Furthermore, God is speaking to you about your true identity. The world tries to define you by your successes, your failures, your job title, or your relationships. When you feel lost, these external labels often fall away, and you are left wondering who you truly are. In this vulnerable space, God speaks the most profound truth: you are His beloved child. Your identity is not found in what you do, but in who you belong to. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, chosen, redeemed, and sealed by His love. He is reminding you that your worth is not conditional, it is absolute and eternal because it is rooted in Him. Let this truth anchor your soul in the midst of the swirling currents of confusion. You may feel lost, but your position as a child of God is secure forever. Finally, in this feeling of being lost, God is speaking a promise of restoration and hope. The Bible is filled with promises that God will lead the blind by a way they did not know, that He will turn darkness into light before them, and make the crooked places straight. The prophet Jeremiah reminds us that God has plans to prosper us and not to harm us, plans to give us a hope and a future. Your current season is not your final destination. The wilderness always leads to a promised land. The night always gives way to the morning. This feeling of being lost is temporary, but God's faithfulness is eternal. He is not just with you in this valley, He is actively working all things together for your good and for His glory. He is preparing a future for you that is beyond what you can ask or imagine. So, take a deep breath, quiet your soul, and listen. Can you hear Him? He is speaking words of love, words of hope, words of direction. This feeling of being lost is not a dead end, it is a doorway into a deeper, more intimate, and more powerful relationship with the God who created you, who loves you, and who is, at this very moment, calling your name. He is guiding you, holding you, and whispering to your spirit. This is not the end. This is a holy and sacred beginning. This is your moment to stop, to listen, and to realize that the one who feels lost has finally been found by the one who was searching all along. If you feel lost right now, God is speaking to you.